So joining me are two special guests who are going to talk about where we've been and where we're going. So I want to start with Cody.
Please.
So Cody, you literally helped write the book on how we do this.
Right.
SCE and AT&T and other partners came to the table with us in 2014 to help enact AB 1678, the first ever inclusion measure to announce LGBTBEs in California. How did that happen?
Well, it took a lot of work, and first off, thank you. Really glad to be here this morning. Great to be here with you, Jonathan and Keron. On behalf of Southern California Edison, we've got a lot going on in the state of California. You know, we cover a service territory of 50,000 square miles. We serve 15 million people across 5 million customer accounts, and we have a state with some incredibly ambitious environmental goals. In the state of California, we don't see climate change as fake news. We see it as being real. And so our company—
Can we get an applause on that, please?
Southern California Edison is leading the transformation of our electric power industry in our state. We have already produced about half of our energy from carbon-free sources. We need to get to 80% renewables in the next decade, and then over the next 25 years, 100% carbon-free energy in our state. That is a very, very heavy lift, and that is not much time to get it done. And so our leadership made a strategic decision years ago, leading up to what happened in 2014 in partnership with the NGLCC. And our leadership decided we needed all hands on deck to achieve our state's environmental goals. And that means tapping into the broad array of expertise and talent across all the communities that we serve. And that gave rise to a partnership with the NGLCC. And I'm proud to say that in 2014, when the opportunity arose for our corporate leadership to align with the NGLCC and also with the LGBT caucus of our state legislature in the state of California, organizations such as Equality California, which has been doing great work around equality issues for the gay community for many, many decades, our corporate leadership faced one of those moments. And for those of you in corporate America, or even in a small or medium-sized business, you have those opportunities to decide whether your actions are going to align with your corporate values. And that was one of those moments. And I'm proud to say that our utility president at the time, a straight man, by the way, I was in the room when the subject of AB 1678 was put before him. And it was one of those classic corporate America settings, big long mahogany table, 20 leather chairs around the table. And the utility president at the time says, partnering with the NGLCC and supporting AB 1678 to expand our supplier diversity program, he said it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for our customers. It's the right thing to do for our customers, for our employees, and his point was we needed all hands on deck so that our company can lead the energy transformation, provide clean energy, clean the air in our communities, and help lead our state to a carbon-free economy in the future. And that's ultimately why we decided to advocate with you, with the NGLCC, and to get it done. And I'm proud to say one of the key facets of that legislation is regardless of whether your business is in our state, if you're NGLCC qualified, certified as a gay-owned business, you can still help us meet our supplier diversity goals. So that's really key. You don't have to be in our state. As long as you're a certified business, you can help us meet our supplier diversity targets. It's one of the key elements that we wanted to see in that.
And that's such a great point, and that's true of Massachusetts and other major cities where you've enacted, city of Baltimore, LA, which just happened. You don't have to live there, which is a great reminder to every supplier out here.
Right.
Go to the NGLCC website, to our public sector page, register for all of those RFP portals, because as long as you can deliver a quality good or product,
Right.
they're ready to work with you.
That's right.
So it's an exciting moment, and a lot of people think that this is, sometimes just a press release. This is just something that happens to show off that the community's got some momentum, but there's real dollars behind it. Last year, the California Public Utilities Commission spent $48 million on LGBTBEs alone. That's incredible. And these were dollars that were not available to us 5 years ago. So I want to ask you about some of the innovations that you've seen from our suppliers who have come through the supplier clearinghouse in California and are working with you there and around the country.
Sure. Well, I thought it was fascinating. Just as a quick example, yesterday when we saw the 4 business pitches, 2 of the 4 were related to the energy sector. Right? I did not think that was an accident. There's tremendous growth in the energy sector, and to achieve our state's clean energy objectives and to meet those ambitious goals to decarbonize our economy, we really need all hands on deck. And so we've tapped into the expertise in our service territory and beyond to really ensure that we're bringing to bear the full range of talent that's out there, especially amongst the LGBT-owned businesses. We're really proud of that.
Thank you. Thanks for all the work you and your team and all the coalition partners have done
Thank
to get
you
us
for the
this far.
partnership. Thank you, Jonathan.
So that's where we started.
Yeah.
Keron, you're literally on the forefront of where we're going. I mean, it was just, I think, 3-4 weeks ago, we were sitting in Baltimore at a hearing with the Maryland Public Service Commission, the East Coast equivalent of what we passed in California, fighting for LGBTBE equality. And it looked pretty good. We're waiting to hear that result. But I want to ask you, and I'll take any excuse for a musical reference, but what was it like to be in the room where it happened?
So I will say that it was definitely evident that we have a disparity gap in America. So when being a black woman, when you consider the African American or a minority-owned business coupled with a LGBTQ-owned entrepreneur, the factors and dynamics shifts. And according to the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, LGBTQ businesses actually contribute almost $1 trillion to the U.S. economy, right? And create more than 33,000 jobs. LGBTQ businesses actually generate over $3 million in revenue. When you consider all of those factors, to me it means that I have a lot of work to do. So not only for myself, but it means being in that room, I saw that there was a lot of work to do that needs to be done for communities of color, disabled veterans or veterans, those who are disabled, period, women. There's a lot to be done. I personally represent a vast majority of that demographic. I'm a black, lesbian, professional female. And what I can say to you is, from being in that room, I will not lay down, I will not be oppressed, I will not be overlooked, I will not be hindered, I will fight. I will not fight with my hands, I will fight with my voice, I will fight with my vote, I will fight with my action to marginalize all of us, to mobilize all of us who are marginalized.
Yes.
We have to fight.
Yes.
And that is why I'm here, and that is what I intend to do, will do, and will always do.
I hate clip-on mics because you have nothing to drop. But you brought up an important point. When we were in that room, there were some individuals who were pushing back, saying, quite literally, you people don't deserve this. Other people have suffered harder. How did that make you feel as someone who sits right at those intersections and was literally down the table from someone saying, only what I see about you matters?
So what was very interesting is, and in full disclosure, the person happened to be an African-American heterosexual male. And he was speaking a language that I often hear in the various communities. So I will say that I, again, being a black woman, I was able to understand why he was saying it and where he was coming from. Totally did not agree with it. But that's okay. That's his truth. That is not the truth that I will lead by. That is not the truth that I will endorse or perpetuate. I am going to make sure that what he said, those people, regardless of who those people were, and what he didn't realize, not only was he talking about, and what he said was, don't kill me, Jonathan, but what he said is that we as a gay community, we as a minority community are taking away from the black man that has built up or laid the foundation. But at the end of the day, it's about us coming together, collectively working together to increase the economy so we all can benefit from. It's not about color, it's not about race, it's not about gender, it's not about sexuality, it's about us coming together, and how can we do that collectively, and which he didn't get, which one day he will, and that's okay. Until that day happens, we will continue to fight for equality and equity for all.
And you're so right, and that's the question I want to pose to you both is, as we're talking about the power of the NGLCC network, one of the greatest elements of that power is our own internal diversity and the diversity of those who support us, whether it's the National Business Inclusion Consortium, whether it's our new community partners from various stakeholder groups that say, we've seen these attacks, we're with you, because your members are our members, and vice versa. So I want to talk to you both as both chamber leaders, business owners, and corporate partners, building and shaping these coalitions of cross-segment diversity, and how that not only helps the LGBTBE succeed in the public sector, but helps everybody and dispels this myth about a finite piece of pie.
Well, I would say, and we hear often, there's a saying that I hear often, and I've coined it as part of my saying, either we are at the table or we're on the table.
That's right.
And so I choose to be at the table.
That's right.
I empower you and implore you to be at the table.
That's right.
So be that voice. Definitely, become part of the certification. It's critical.
Yes.
Not only is it critical for your own individual businesses, but it's also critical for the whole community, because when I win, you win.
Yes.
We all win.
Yes.
And Jonathan, I would add to that. Through the power of coalition building and advocacy, together we can grow the pie, right? I think sometimes
it's as big as we collectively want to make it, as Justin always says, right?
Sometimes there's a misconception that if your slice grows, mine's going to get smaller.
Right.
And that's just wrong. And
Right.
together we can change that perception.
Right.
We can grow the pie. And we can do that through the power of our coalitions. And there's nothing more politically potent than an aligned coalition of stakeholders who are together to achieve a common mission, a common purpose. And so if there's anything I would leave all of you with today, it's nurture your coalitions.
Yes.
Continue to collaborate, connect, join with others, and forge those relationships, because if you bring them to bear in the political sector, as we saw 5 years ago in California, as we're seeing now, as we saw with the mayor of Tampa yesterday, if you bring those forces to bear, there's nothing together that we can't achieve. It's all possible.
You couldn't be more right. And I think one of the big fights ahead is getting New York City, for example, passed. One of the first groups to step up and say, send a letter of support and say, we stand with you, was New York, New Jersey, and MSDC, saying this is not taking away. This helps our stakeholders. It helps make the programs more modern. It's for, as Senator Wellstone used to say, when we all do better, we all do better.
That's right.
So I want to thank you both for helping us do better.
Thank
Cody,
you.
Keron, thank you for helping be leaders. To our corporate partners, our LGBTBEs, our amazing ACC affiliate leaders, there's a role for all of us to play, and we're all going to play it until all 50 states take our certification. Am I right?
That's right.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
But as you've seen with the other speakers throughout the week, you're not off the hook.
Okay.
All of this work that we're doing for LGBTBE inclusion exists to make sure that we have more and more suppliers than ever before. And we've got one last class of great new suppliers for our induction ceremony. Will you join us for that while they reset the stage real quick?
Happy to.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So give us a second. We're going to put the stage back together. But I want to thank you both again for all of your time and commitment to this work. And I want to encourage everyone out there who wants to be involved in this work to help ensure that LGBTBEs are certified, that they are members of their local affiliate chamber, and that we spread the message, because it can't end when the 1,400 of us go home. You have to talk and be loud and fight, like Keron said. So thank you again to you both and to everyone here. And of course, you can always reach us at advocacy@nglcc.org if you want to learn more about how to get involved, and also where all of the registration portals are for the various supplier stakeholder groups. So again, thank you.